That is the first day of March. Over and done with. Those are whales. They're talking to me. And Ahmed. Good day. Good day for unpredictable reasons. 7 out of 10, physical health. 9 out of 10, mental health. 9 out of 10, career productivity. 7 out of 10, friendships, relationships. 8 out of 10, happiness. 8,069 out of 14,600. So it started off properly. 5:30 a.m. on the assault bike. 20 minutes. Peak heart rate, 181 BPM. 5:50 in the morning. Hitting that heart rate, solid. Then I grabbed some brekkie and then I biked 9K, 9 kilometers. It took me on a fucking single speed bike up and over hills and down valleys and over tree stumps. That was from about 7:35 till 8:05, and then we sat down and had a departmental breakfast for our engineering department. And all I got, because I already had breakfast here, I just grabbed a strawberry milkshake and a green tea and got a couple strange looks, but you know, saving money. I only ended up paying $14. One dude ended up paying $60, right? Like, for what? Bunch of food. Anyways, oh yeah, I forgot. After I came back from the soul biking, I wasn't sweaty enough to go in the shower. Like, yeah, I hit that high heartbeat, which was great, but I didn't need to go in the shower, so I just studied, and I studied my assistant immunization medtech training handouts documents that I got. There were 2 annexes that we got, so a bunch of protocols on immunization techniques and protocols. So that was dope. I think I just said protocols twice, whatever. And then, yeah, so that was another 9K bike ride back. So by 10:30 a.m., I did 20 minutes on the assault bike, which is at least 10K, or sorry, at least not 10K, about 8K. I'd say no, it's probably about 6 or 7K. Never mind, I'm selling myself too high. Probably about 7 or 8K. That's where I'll put it at. 7.5K. We'll cut it there, and then 18K to and from Langford, from like here to Langford. So 9.5K either way. So that's 19K plus 7.5. By 10:30 a.m. I biked 26.5 kilometers, about 26K. Let's just say 26K. So not bad. It was decent. It was a decent bike ride on a fucking bike that's not designed to go 26K. Anywho, yeah, then I got to work, and then we were waiting on a job. We couldn't find the pieces for the job, so we didn't do the job. We were just standing by. And then around 11:30, 11:45 came. I went and did a little bit more boxing. Started punching that bag a little bit more. And my freaking, look at that. I don't know if you can see that, but I wonder if you can like focus this thing. You can't really see it, but like you sort of can, right? Like this whole part of my knuckles like torn off, and it fucking hurts. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there you go. What the fuck? Where'd that go? My pencil. Whatever. Okay, well, looks like my fucking pencil's gone. Lovely. That took a whole fucking 20 seconds. Okay. So then, after I was boxing, I left work, and then I came back, grabbed some lunch here, and then I went to my. Oh yeah, I was sitting with 3 people at lunch. Oh my gosh. How do you? It's hard to explain, but like, there's one guy that was sitting with us that I was like, nah. I don't know if I liked your presence, but he just kept on talking, and I'm not gonna say anything, I'm just like, I was looking at my other friend, just sort of making that eye contact, like, fuck, and like, I don't think I was specifically impolite, but I think that the point got across either way. Um, anyways, so I don't feel bad about that. I think that was probably one of the better ways that I could have handled that. Yes, I'm pretty outright. Yes, I'm pretty outspoken, but I think that I was polite enough to let him know in the best way possible. Anyways, um, so I was doing that training. Oh, that was fantastic. So I had done a bunch of research into emergency medical training through that certification, that online certification that I was doing, and then I did a little bit through the fucking, like, just here and there tidbits. And what was it? Today during that training, I actually understood a bunch of stuff that they were saying. It made sense. I don't think it was rocket science. It was a pretty easy lecture, all in all. But why do I always start yawning as soon as Okay. Yeah, so I think I kept up relatively well, considering I'm nowhere related to their field of expertise. Um, yeah, and then about 2:30 that was done. Got back, spoke to this guy we needed to speak to about the bubble soccer tournament, which was fantastic. Just means more work for me. At the end, that's all I really remember from that. I was like, it wasn't like I was sitting there talking to him, and like he's busy. He's busy as hell. He's got a really heavily administrative role, and I was there to talk to him and to get his advice on something, and like he gave me some advice, but there was no sort of like, yeah, I'll help you. It was just kind of like, you got to figure out how to do it. If you want it, you got to do it. I'm like, fuck, okay. So I got to figure out where to go, who to speak to. But it was good. It was worth going to talk to him either way. And then I napped. I napped for an hour and a half. Do I feel guilty? Not so much. It was actually a good nap. Because I got up and then I went to the Salvation Army, and then I was volunteering there again. So I did my volunteering, and then till 6 o'clock, and then I got back, and well, I didn't have supper here, so I bought it at a grocery store, and I got a California bread is what it was called. It was like this big, and like full of cheese and garlic butter, and like it was just like soft, and oh my gosh, it was fantastic. It was the best part of the meal. I was craving a garlic bread, and it was like the closest thing I got, but it was like the amount of cheese that was on that thing. Oh my gosh! Oh, got it again. The amount of cheese on that thing was like incorrect. Um, and then and then I got 3 sausage rolls. Didn't eat all of them. 1 chicken samosa. That thing's disappeared. 1 spinach quiche. About halfway done. 3 bites, and then I was like, nah, subpar. 6 cinnamon rolls. Didn't touch them. Believe it or not. I had 1 green goodness smoothie, so 946, almost a liter of smoothie that's green. I think it's healthy for you. It's full of sugar. It's got like 26 grams of sugar. So what? Just under 7 teaspoons of sugar. 6.5 teaspoons of sugar. For the whole thing, for the whole 946 milliliters. That's probably why I'm still hyper right now, because I was chugging that thing back at like 9 o'clock. And then I got a bag of munchies, and then 1 pack of those 2 packs of Reese's Pieces King Cup things, the big peanut butter cups, but like the Reese's Pieces in them. Oh, those things are my weakness, I swear. And I got all that for $43. So I think it was definitely expensive, but whatever, it was worth it. And then this is a good story. So, okay. So I was walking out, I was bag stuffed with a bunch of snackies. And I was walking out to my bike, and there's a homeless dude sitting there, right near my bike. And I assumed that he was a homeless guy because he was on the street, because he was all parched up and comfortable sitting up against a wall on the side of the plaza, right? So maybe he does have a home, maybe he doesn't. I don't really. It's not my business. It's not my concern. Anyways, So I look at him. I'm like, have a good night, boss. And then he's just like, oh yeah, you too, you too. Would you like a? And he had a pile of candy in front of him. He's like, oh, would you like a candy? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Like obviously I'm a little bit hesitant. This dude that I've never met before is offering me a bunch of candy. And he gave me and he started off with giving me a story about why he had a random pile of candy in front of him, and he's just like, oh yeah, so my friend my friend's an old lady who's expecting her grandchildren to come up, and her grandchildren couldn't make it up, and she bought all this candy for them. So then she just gave it to me, and now I'm just giving it out. And I was like, "Oh well, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Well, I'm not gonna take your candy and not give you anything. So I'll make a trade. I'll make an offer." And he's like, "Well, what are you offering?" And I was like, "Okay, now we're talking." And I whip out that Reese's peanut butter cup. Yes, they're my weakness. One is enough to satiate that Reese's desire. And you know, I pull it out. I'm like, I will trade you one Reese's peanut butter cup for one pack of Smarties. And he's just like, I think it cost two packs of Smarties, and they're his Smarties. But I was like, done deal. So then whip it out, float him over a peanut butter cup, and then I get two packs of Smarties out of it. And I sat down and chatted with him for a bit, and his name was Walter. He was a very, very nice lad. And he said, and I asked him, I was like, oh, what are you up to this week? And he's like, well, tomorrow is my best friend's son's birthday, or cousin's son's birthday, or something like that. But somebody's son's birthday, that's not his son. And he wanted to take him to Montana's and buy him a rack of ribs. And I'm like, that's pretty sweet. And then started talking about this burger that I had at Montana's that had two grilled cheeses and a burger in between. He's just like, I'm lactose intolerant, but that sounds good. I'm like, yes, it does. It was. Anyways, so then I was back for about 7 o'clock. Nuked up a bunch of the California bread, the sausage rolls, and the quiche. And then I was on the phone with my friend until 8:15, about there. And then it was crazy. One of the med techs, the medical technicians that I was at the training with for the first time, that I met for the first time today, happens to walk into the room as I'm on the phone with my friend. And he sits down on the chair, and he goes and sits down on the chair beside me, or like probably like 15 feet away from me. And then he just starts, and he's on the phone for a bit, and then he just sort of gets off the phone, I assume, and then he just has sitting there with music. And I was like, I feel like I should go over and speak to him. So then I went over and spoke to him, and it was fantastic. He told me that he told me about some of his experiences as a primary care paramedic, getting his qualification, some of his experiences as a medical technician in the military, some of his experience as a combat engineer before he remustered to the medical technician trade. He was telling me about a little bit of the political dynamics about some of the new policies that are being implemented into the trade, and how it's going to change the face and the qualifications, especially transferable qualifications for the medical technician. That was good. That was dope. And then he also told me about what it was like delivering a baby. That's something that if I ever get the opportunity to, I hope that I'm not too, what's it called, nervous for or unprepared. I hope that I am properly prepared for, but that would be interesting. Anyways, yeah, he was telling me about some of those multiple vehicle casualty incidences, and it was so happy I ended up going and speaking to him. At the end of the day, like, I was nervous because I'm like, I have no idea who this guy is. I only met him today, and it was definitely worth stepping outside of the zone and asking him a couple questions about what his life is like, and how life is as a med tech, right? So very curious, very happy that it happened. Take those chances, take those opportunities. That's all I can say. Pop today. I don't. My mind is going all over the place right now. I think I got like a really bad sugar addiction, and that's sort of like putting my ADD into like hyperdrive. and I'm hopping between 7 and 23 different things all the time simultaneously. Anyways, so I was chatting with that med tech until about 9 o'clock, and then I was chatting with freaking Ahmed here until 10 o'clock, and I came back at 7 from volunteering and picking up the grub. I wanted to I wanted to hop on the computer, get the podcast episode done, edited up. I wanted to get some more studying done for both my career here as a marine technician and as a medic and as a one day primary care paramedic hopeful, we'll say. But I got nothing done. I was just talking with one friend, talking with the med tech, talking with Ahmed for the last 3 hours, or from 7 o'clock till 10 o'clock. And I was cleaning up, and then I'm gonna be doing this journal log and meditating until about 11:30. I should be in bed for then. Definitely rambled for a lot longer than I expected to go for today, but it was like, as I was speaking to Ahmed earlier, I'll just let this one roll for a bit. As I was speaking to Ahmed earlier, what's crazy about me is I don't know if anyone watching this can attest to the way that I am, or the way that they are, understanding where I'm coming from. But I feel like if all of my energy is directed towards one field of study, I get bored quick. I need to have multiple different things. Maybe that's part of the education system, but anyways, I need to have multiple different areas of research and areas of interest that I can flip from one to another flip from one to another, so that I don't get bored of a single one, and I can find different reasons of growing or different ways of growing, and sort of connecting different concepts between different fields of study. And there's only so much fulfillment that I get out of this part of my life, and this part of life, and this part of my life. But I think together, they all collectively contribute to a higher personal fulfillment and personal direction, right? Like they're all molding a very unique direction for me. Do I know what that direction is? No, it pisses me off that I have no idea like what that ultimate direction is going to be, but I know what I want right now, and I know that these 3 different areas of studies, at least to start, is what my mind wants me to focus on. And it's not just one, it's not just 2, it's all 3. So I guess 4, because fitness and body work is a big part of life too. You got to spend a lot of time. You got to commit a lot of time towards sculpting your body into what you want it to be, and working on the muscles that you need to activate to accomplish certain fitness goals that you know you want. But anyways, what's crazy is, like, I got a game on Sunday. Yeah, I have no idea what I want to do for the rest of the weekend. Maybe I'll just lazy it out and do absolutely nothing. But it is my hunch that this weekend is going to be interesting. And I'm going to be doing something that I did not expect to do. I hope so. But until then, hope you tune in for if that something special or interesting or unique shows up. But thank you for tuning in all the same. And if you aren't, then you're missing out, as always. Have a good fucking weekend? Night? Friday? Hope you're hammered. Oh, yeah. Wait. Okay, so before we go. There's one other thing that I wanted to say. And last year, during my monkhood, my 6 months of monkhood, from May pretty well till December, I changed a lot during that time, and I'm looking back on it, and I'm like, I absolved myself of a lot of different sources of instant gratification. So the smoking, drinking, fucking partying. I absolved myself of a lot of that, and I basically stopped doing any of it. And what happened was, I found other ways of growing. I found other ways of building myself and of finding areas of growth and of discovering new reasons to suffer and finding new reasons to feel fulfilled and finding new communities to become part of. And all I'm saying is, if you deliberately commit the time to introspection, you will find a deeper level of self-awareness than you could ever imagine. And that implication that it could have on your career trajectory is inexplicable. Take from that what you will. I need to stop. I need to turn off this fucking video because it's at 21 minutes and I don't know how the fuck I've ran. I don't even know what I've spoke about for the last 21 minutes. But anyways, happy March. Let's have a good March.